One of the most popular handhelds back in its time was the Nintendo DS, and it truly outshined the Game Boy in my eyes as a kid. I remember wanting the DS back then when I used to see it on store shelves and when I saw all the fun games I could play. From Mario to Pokemon, I was very invested in the system. The idea of a dual-screen handheld back then was really cool too, and as a young kid I was very eager to not only own one, but to finally play some of these games I saw others rave about at school. I never had one for a while, but I remember getting sick one day and getting one around then. Out of all the games I loved though, one stood out that was not Pokemon. That game was Mario Kart DS. Welcome to Days of the Races, where me and my friend Sporadic get to take a look back on the Mario Kart games that have been released, and just talk about our feelings in each title. We are going back in time through each release, from 8 all the way to the very first title. Today, we are tackling the one and only Mario Kart DS. Yahoo! Mario Kart DS was released on November 14th, 2005 for the DS, and as far as I can recall, I was pretty late on getting into the game. If memory serves me right, I think I got into the game around 2007 or 8. At this time, the only game in the franchise I was into was Mario Kart 64, so I personally view this game as my true introduction to the series as a whole. The game, of course, had a lot of new features, such as new items, these items being the Bullet Bill and the Blooper. To some that may not have started here, may view these as common items, but nope, they started here. Both adding to the chaotic gameplay loop that Mario Kart is known for, the Bullet transforms into an actual Bullet Bill enemy as you speed past other racers on the track and knock them out of the way. The Blooper just puts ink on everyone's screen. Overall, these two items have now become mainstays in the franchise that I personally think are great additions. The one other thing that this game had that I absolutely adored was the small emblem designer. The designer itself was just a grid-based paint tool, but you could make quite a lot of cool emblems. I always used this back in the day, and even now I like to take a quick try and make a new emblem. This game was also the first of the series to be on the DS, so the touchscreen is fully usable, which made menus, the game itself, and the mentioned emblem tool feel way more fleshed out.
Sometime around 2006, an older cousin of mine was visiting us from somewhere above the Mason-Dixon line and brought a DS with some DS and GBA games. 2 of those games were the first ever Mario games I ever got to experience. One of them was Mario Party Advance, the other was Mario Kart DS. I got MKDS 2 years later alongside MKWii, and that put me on the path to enjoying the rest of the series as a whole. Being the second game in the series to be on a handheld device, Mario Kart DS kept the bar held up pretty high, having been passed the torch from Mario Kart Double Dash. There ain't much in terms of visuals and content amount, but there are other new features that made up for it entirely. Namely, the online capabilities, the mission mode, versus mode being playable in single player mode, and a new way to run through time trials. Enter snaking, a technique that's done by drifting long enough to turn twice, gain the drift boost, and immediately hop in the other direction. Lather, rinse, and repeat until the time trial is finished. If done right, it can lead to some pretty great results.
Characters. They make Mario Kart what it is, and having such a wide variety of characters playable in these games always is a strong plus for me and many others. The roster itself has 12 playable characters, and 4 of which are unlocked as you play. The base roster is your basic run-of-the-mill Mario characters, and the same can be said to the unlockables too, but having Waluigi and Daisy here again is still so nice. Oh yeah, they also included Rob. This is the robot that was used as a peripheral for the NES way back in the day. I never even knew what a Rob was until this game, so for me, I thought he just was some unique Nintendo character I never knew of before. Still, each character remains specific with weight classes, which dictates how they play in the game. In this game, I actually enjoyed playing as each individual character quite a lot and never truly stuck to one like I do now. Maybe I was young and liked experimenting when I could, but each character offers a fun time regardless, in my honest opinion. The way you unlock these characters is as simple as progressing through the Grand Prix and placing well, of course, whether it's on 50cc or even 150cc. For some reason, unlocking every racer isn't that daunting, which was shocking, because back then I remember it taking a long while to fully do so. Maybe I was just not used to Mario Kart yet? Oh well, who knows? Characters are still cool though.
The kart selection was just as, or should I say, more diverse than Double Dash's selection. Instead of just one kart for each playable character, there are 3 to choose from now. You start out with only 2 to choose, and as you go through the game, you unlock the 3rd kart for everyone. Somewhere down the line, every character can have up to 7 karts in their arsenal. There are 3 respective rides, plus 4 random karts. Once you clear the game by running through and getting gold on all the 32 cups, you can run any character and any kart as you wish. The kart design is my second favorite in the series, not counting 7 or 8. I mean, there's a Jeep knockoff, the Poltergust in vehicle form, an airplane rigged into a car, there's even a kart with Rambi's head! Alright, now who posted Rambi? Come on, and why is his head on the kart like a trophy? Seriously? Okay then, fine. My favorite karts to run though, of all things, is the Dragonfly. Yes, Wario has a tractor that he races with in that game. I bet he must have stolen it off of a farm somewhere. The other favorite of mine is the Gold Mantis. Basically, Waluigi went to a construction site and stole a piece of heavy equipment that he races with now. Waluigi also has a 3-wheeler with a steering wheel on it too. I really hope the Zipper makes a return in the next MK game. As an ATV this time. The gimmick with the vehicles is which ones have decent drift boosts and which ones don't. The only stat that the characters affect is the weight. Everything else is set in stone. The vehicles with large wheels, like the Tyrant or the Streamliner, have shorter drift boosts, and the vehicles with smaller wheels, like the Egg 1 and the Shooting Star, have longer drift boosts. All in all, the vehicle roster for DS was really memorable. The whole off-the-wall design choice definitely paid off for them, even 15 years later.
The Nitro Forces. Here is where Mario Kart truly started the trend in labeling the new and old courses by this name. The new courses are called Nitro, while the returning ones are deemed Retro. I think both names are rather fitting, and this addition was really well implemented in this title. When I first booted up the game, I did so through download play, so for me, seeing courses like Figure 8 Circuit brings me back to when times were much simpler. Each of these courses have been treaded by me several times as I grew up, whether it being during the Grand Prix or during time trials. Each of these 16 courses now have shown up as retro courses in future games, or have been modded into either Mario Kart 7 or Wii. These courses all felt super fun and truly are as close to a console Mario Kart experience even now. Throughout running through the courses again though, I have been getting waves of nostalgia from some. Mainly, Waluigi Pinball. This course is iconic and has stood the test of time even to this very day. I remember playing this course all the time as a kid. The idea being the size of a pinball, or even smaller, as you race around the inside of an actual machine that felt massive in comparison, was really interesting. The hazards being bumpers, and even the pinballs themselves was also really cool. Driving around this track with friends was a major highlight of my scrapbook for this game. Between the music, the look of the course, and just how fun it was to play in time trial, it's no wonder that so many people viewed this course as an all-time classic. The only game this course got remade on was 7, and it's pretty solid with no major changes made, but I would love to see this course in future games due to it not only aging well, but having an interesting concept for a track. The next course I want to talk about is very special to me, because even now, I hop on either Mario Kart DS or 7 just to play it. That course is none other than Airship Fortress. This track is full of craziness just waiting to happen, as the course takes place on an actual airship from those early Mario titles. I was always a big fan of those levels in games like Super Mario World, so to have a course where I get to drive around the actual ship with intense music blasting as I drove by was exciting. Each time I played this track, I remember falling in love with it more and more as I played. I was never the biggest fan when I first played the game, but over time it grew on me till I fell in love with every aspect. The atmosphere, the design of the track's layout, the giant bullet bills and Monty Balls scattered around, and the huge cannon you get launched out at the end of the track. It all just meshed together to a point where I had gone from thinking this course was just okay to wanting to play it with my friends all the time. This course is also another one that has only been ported to Mario Kart 7, but like with Waluigi Pinball, I would love an overhauled version in a future title. The Nitro Cope courses were all engaging and fun, and it could be just a nostalgia talking, but even now, I loved going through these tracks just for fun, and to see some of them all these years later still brings a smile to my face. There were others I loved just as much that I didn't mention, but just know that these courses all get my seal of approval for being fun and, to me, memorable.
Retro section this time around. This ain't the first time Nintendo had brought back courses from past games, but this game is the one to make it a series staple. Nintendo took 4 courses each from Super Mario Kart, Mario Kart 64, Mario Kart Super Circuit, and Mario Kart Double Dash, and sorted them out into 4 separate cups. One track from each game was inserted into the cups in order of release. I didn't recognize that fact until after I was well into Mario Kart Wii, but once I did, that was actually what made me look into, and eventually, get physicals of the other games in the series. Back to DS though. The retro courses were as fun as the Nitro lineup. A lot of time had been spent dodging pipes in Mario Circuit 1, mowing down Monty Moles at Moo Moo Farm, snaking around Yoshi's Circuit, knocking opponents off in Choco Mountain, waging guerrilla warfare in Baby Park, cruising in the rain in GBA Luigi Circuit, braving the Banshee Boardwalk, and my favorite pastime, playing in traffic out on Mushroom Bridge. Ever since I started playing these courses on their original platforms as well as running them on MKDS, I started really appreciating the new perspective this feature brought. Being able to run through older courses with brand new game physics, I really liked that concept more than I thought. The best part in my opinion, the craziness of the races never went away. You can still wage war against everyone you want, or you can just speed off, spank people left and right, and leave them in the dust.
One mode that was brand new to this game was the mission mode. This was the one of the most fun times I had in this game. Mission mode is a single player mode from Mario Kart DS in which the player must complete some tasks and earn a ranking similar to that in Grand Prix mode. It involves 7 levels, each containing 8 missions, and a boss battle, most of which are taken from Super Mario 64 DS. Not only that, but these missions take place on the tracks in the actual game, which is nuts. Having a new way to explore and play on these courses was such a great idea, and still is even now. Each mission has a unique objective like driving through gates, collecting coins, using items to destroy enemies, and even driving through parts of the course backwards. I vividly remember going through these missions, trying to get the best rank so I can talk about it to all my friends at school and summer camp, while also seeing if they made any progress in the mode itself. It was so different and a really good palate cleanser after getting tired of regular races after a while. It felt like the mode had purpose, and also made me want to pick up Mario 64 DS due to the creative boss fights using the bosses in that game. As I said earlier, each fight is from Mario 64 DS, and was my first time truly seeing some of these newer fights as a kid. I mean, yeah, I played Mario 64 back when I was younger, but I was really young, and don't really remember much past a few worlds. Regardless, these boss fights had unique arenas, excluding 2 of those being Wiggler and the Goom Boss. Some fights were as simple as knocking off Big Billy to collecting more coins than King Boo, or using items on bosses like the iRock, or even ironically, using Bob-Bombs on the big Bob-Bomb himself. Each fight was fairly straightforward, but that feeling of having to face off against these foes was always fresh and a unique playing experience compared to anything I have played in a Mario Kart game. I remember viewing this as the game's story mode, and deep down, still kinda do. Albeit simple, I think the structure of the missions and boss fights really solidify that feeling. Truth be told, this was the most exciting part of replaying Mario Kart DS for me, and left me wondering why mission mode in Wii was scrapped. This mode might not have been the most played, but I wholeheartedly think it was the most fun I had playing this game, next to the main game, time trials, and even battle mode. The co-op experience in Mario Kart is as fleshed out as ever. Each release has always had some fun times with others, but this time around, I actually remember spending a lot of time playing with friends here. This game was the very first one to have proper online races using what Nintendo called the Nintendo Wi-Fi. Really creative name, but hey, it's timeless. Now, of course, nowadays, this service is long gone, but in its heyday, I truly had a blast going through races online with others around the world after school some nights. It was exciting, but to be clear, I never got super into the races on Wi-Fi, but it was fun once in a while for the first time or two. But say you wanted to play Mario Kart DS without even owning the game. Well, believe it or not, you actually could and still can. Introducing DS Download Play, a service built into the DS that allows other players who may not have the physical game cart of a title to join in on the multiplayer fun. Not all games supported this, of course, but the one that arguably had my favorite use was Mario Kart DS. This game let you race 8 tracks from the Mushroom and Shell Cups. You wouldn't be able to select a character and were instead given a randomly colored Shy Guy to substitute in. You were allowed up to 8 players per race, so all you needed was one person with the game on hand and have them host a lobby, and boom, you could have endless fun on 8 courses for as long as you want. This feature was where I even got an interest for the game at summer camp back when I was younger. I remember going on field trips where on the bus ride, all we would do is watch movies on the bus and play Mario Kart in groups. I mean, hey, it kept me away from Pokemon, which isn't a bad thing, I guess, but hey, can't stop me. It was such a blast, and I honestly treasure those rather simpler times. Whether it was racing or just talking about the game, I really grew to enjoy the franchise more and more. Other than a versus mode where you can race against players locally who have the game or not, there was one other mode I am failing to mention. This mode, of course, is battle mode. Battle mode is something in previous videos I kinda glossed over purely due to the fact I never really got into them and didn't have much to say, but this time, I do have something to say. It's a good mode. In battle mode, there are 6 stages, 4 of which are original, and 2 are from an earlier Mario Kart game. The core selection being Twilight House, Palm Shore, Tart Top, Block Fort from Mario Kart 64, Pipe Plaza from Mario Kart Double Dash, and lastly, a Nintendo DS. Yeah, you heard me. You get to complete battles on an actual Nintendo DS. Is that not cool? Are you not entertained? Oh, I'm not gonna leave that in. I have fond memories on these courses, and each one still holds up pretty well, even today. Battle mode just isn't courses though. They have options. Let's talk about Balloon Battle first. The classic battle mode seen in all Mario Kart gets a new twist in Mario Kart DS. From previous games, everyone begins a match with 3 balloons. In this game, however, all players begin with a single balloon, though they can get more by blowing up their balloons using the microphone feature on the DS, or just by holding the select button. Each player has 4 balloons in stock, and the racers can hold up to 3 balloons in battle. This was always super fun, and I remember going up against the AI and even real players when I could all the time. I always liked trying to bait out wins by acting like I only had 2 or so balloons when I really had another one ready to pull out at a moment's notice. And as a whole, it made battle mode really exciting and constantly fun for me. Next up is Shine Runners. This mode has 9 shines, which are commonly associated with Mario Sunshine, scattered around each map as the players have a goal of collecting the most. Each shine randomly moves from spot to spot on the map, and with various items being able to be used depending on how many shines you have, it can get really hectic. It's basically just like a coin run from Mario Kart 8 before coin run even existed. I usually always hop on here cause the maps and layouts of each can make trying to find shines and win effectively really gratifying. And as a whole, I just really liked playing both of these modes. The battle mode, local play, and online functions all help make the co-op experience of Mario Kart DS feel fully realized, in my honest opinion, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Throughout these retrospectives, I have been pushing myself back in time with each game, and this was no different. Except it was. This game is held with such a high regard to me, due to the sheer amount of memories I have with it. This was the Mario Kart game I sunk the most time into as a kid, and remember constant road trips with me and my cousin and even friends where I did nothing but drive around in the wonderful world this game created. This game was my stomping grounds, and I recall feeling so delighted when I did everything the game had to offer, but yet still found the motivation and excitement to play more and more. I have so many memories with this game, and it helped me truly get into the franchise, even if Mario Kart 64 was my first rodeo with the series. I would sneak around late at night when I wasn't supposed to be up and play the game under my blanket and race throughout the Mushroom Kingdom. Mario Kart DS was quite the game back in its time, and it still holds up extremely well to this very day, with or without my nostalgia goggles on. So, if you have a copy lying around, why not give it a go for old time's sake? Thanks for watching, guys, and make sure you stay hydrated.